What's up, guys? Tom Watkins here, TomWatkinsMusic.com. Um, yeah, that was just me fumbling through some jazz here, guys. I don't consider myself a jazz player. You should know that. You should know that right off the bat. But I like to play it. I like to play the genre because um, I've heard other people talk about this too before. It's just musically nutritious uh, music. Yeah, it's just good for your ear. It opens your ears to new sounds and new things. Um, you know, like I said, I don't consider myself. I know where I sit in the food chain of improvisation, but that's what I wanted to talk about today. It's some parts of that intro I was like holding on for dear life, but that's okay. I think I landed somewhat safe. If you're a jazz player and you're watching this, you're probably rolling your eyes at me, watching me try to play that stuff. But you when you're improvising over things, try to push yourself out of your comfort zone. If you always play it safe, it's gonna be kind of boring. And everyone's ear is different. To an experienced jazz player, what I just played probably sounded really really safe and really not sophisticated. But you know what? For me and for where I am right now in my journey, um, I was still trying to piece things together and play just what was coming to my mind at any given moment. So, yeah, I want to get into some cool things today that I've been putting into my practice routine now for a little bit. That really helps your phrasing and really helps you develop ideas in your soloing. So this video is definitely for people who are trying to work on their improvisation when they're soloing, and just in general, trying to maybe grow their improvisation and sound like they are landing on their feet. Meaning, when you're soloing, you're playing the chord tones and you are landing on the chord tones on a strong beat. So that means a downbeat, either beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, or beat 4. For a long time as guitar players, I think we just solo over the pentatonic, which is great. And actually, the scale that we're going to be using today is a pentatonic scale with an added note. But it's the exercise that I want to show you is that it's going to incorporate phrases where the chord tones of the chord that you're soloing over, and we're just looking at triads today. It's going to be on beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, or beat 4. Yeah, let's get started. So I guess we can do it since I was messing around in E flat in that intro. Let's keep it in E flat just for our ears' sake. And like I said earlier, the scale that we're going to be using is the pentatonic scale with an added fourth note, the fourth of the major scale in it. So, because usually the fourth degree of the pentatonic scale is not in it. And that's actually kind of a cool trick. And the pentatonic scale is just the major scale without half steps, if you want to think about it like that. So the fourth and the seventh is not in it. And yeah, if you put the fourth and the seventh together, it's a tritone, which is in your dominant chord. That's a discussion for a different day. But for this exercise, we're going to put the fourth in the pentatonic scale, and that's going to sound like this. So... right? And the reason why we're putting that fourth note in is because it'll work out so that we land on our feet. We land on a chord tone. You know, you always want to land on your feet. That's like a phrase that I've heard. If you ever watch any of the Barry Harris videos, that this is also something that he talks about. And yeah, he's developed his own scale to make sure that you're always landing on a chord tone. It's the same sort of idea here, but much less complex than Barry Harris's scale. But you know, if you're interested, go check out things I learned from Barry Harris, or a bunch of other good videos on YouTube that breaks his scale down, and you can watch some of his master classes too. But before this video gets too long, let me play through some of these exercises. The first exercise that we're going to do is we're using 3 notes. So I guess it's a phrase of 3 notes, and yeah, it's going to sound like this. So we're starting on B flat. By the way, our 3 notes in E flat that we're just looking at an E flat triad. So it's going to be E flat, G, which is the major third, and B flat, which is the 5th. And since we're playing in the A shape here at the 6th fret, so I'm at X6, 8, 8, 8, X. That's our E flat major chord. We're starting on the 5th, which is at fret 8 on the, fret 6 on the 6th string, and we're going to do, so if you think about that on time, it's an 8th note going to a quarter note, so it's 1 and 2. So we've got beat 1 is on the 5th of the chord, and then on beat 2 we're landing on the root on E flat. So 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. And then if you want to finish it, you could go, and then you land on the E flat in the G shape up there. And then you could go back down as well. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2. So yeah, this is a great exercise. It kind of almost sounds like a bluegrass melody, one of those old bluegrass melodies. Right? It's really fun to play. And as I was counting, all of your chord tones are landing on a downbeat, which is what we want. So that was with a phrase of 3. What would it sound like with using 4 notes instead of just 3 notes in our phrase? So I like this one a lot because it takes up a whole measure. So we're going to be doing kind of like a repetitive pattern, but if you count while we do it, all of the chord tones land on a downbeat, which is the goal of this exercise, but also it takes up an entire measure. So it's a fun little pattern, and it sounds like this. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we start on B flat again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the and of 4 we're ending on C at the 8th fret, and which leads us to E flat, the next note of the scale. So then we're doing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. On the and of 4 we end on F. Next note of the scale is G, and then it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we keep going with this pattern, and we bring it all the way up the pentatonic scale with the A flat, the added 4th. I messed that one up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. No, I didn't. I played it right. And that's if you want to, go up to the root note. You don't have to. You can go backwards as well. So let's start on B flat here and go down. So it also kind of sounds like some bluegrass picking. Like if you're picking really quick on a bluegrass, that might be a phrase that you would hear, and it's really nice because all of the chord tones are landing on a beat, and you're filling up a whole measure of space while landing on your feet. So I hope you get some use out of this exercise. I think this is one of the most overlooked things. If you're into improvising, if you're trying to grow as an improviser, yes, you need to practice your scales. Yes, you need to practice your arpeggios. And you need to practice, if you're a guitar player, you need to practice the shapes up and down the neck, and you have to know them to the point of where you don't think about them. But I would say once you know these shapes and you know the scales, you need to work on phrasing. It's the most overlooked thing with improvising, I think. And so just spending a little bit of this exercise, spending a little bit of time of this exercise a day on your instrument, I think will definitely help you. Essentially, you're downloading the information to your hand. So once it gets in your hand in all these different shapes, then you don't really need to think about it anymore. Your hand will just start to play the chord tones on the beat, which is the goal. Okay? So yeah, I hope you get some use out of that exercise. Sorry you had to listen to me stumble my way through some jazz playing at the beginning, but hopefully, me making some mistakes in the public view like this inspires you to make mistakes too, because, we all make mistakes. We all grow and learn from the mistakes. If you know the song that I was playing in the beginning of the intro, then type it in a comment below. Make sure that you like and share and subscribe to my channel, because there's more videos like this one coming out every week. So until next time.